Hi, everybody watching the stream today. So we have a special guest with us, Karl Fruendt. Karl, if you'd just like to kind of introduce yourself and explain your history and involvement with NORAD Tracks Santa program, and then we can get started here.
Well, absolutely, Alex. Thank you for the opportunity to bring you an update from Colorado Springs, Colorado, the home of NORAD Tracks Santa. I have had the pleasure of working with NORAD Tracks Santa now for the past decade. It's been a wonderful opportunity telling folks about the mission itself, some of its history, and some of the new things that we have going on. I work for NORAD and U.S. Northern Command. My background is an Air Force logistics officer. But when it comes to NORAD Tracks Santa, I am just like every other volunteer. We're all here to make sure the mission is complete on Christmas Eve.
All right, so we want to thank you just for being here and being willing to do our interview with us. We've had you on, I know, at least a few previous years, and we always appreciate and love to have you on. So what does your involvement look like with NORAD Tracks Santa this year?
My involvement with NORAD Tracks Santa this year began a few weeks ago when we started getting our volunteers ready. This is the first year in 3 years that we have a full complement of volunteers who can actually come to the operations center and not all work remotely due to the pandemic. 1,200 volunteers have already signed up, and we've got a waiting list of folks who want to be those folks answering the phone calls and the emails on Christmas Eve. Just this week, I finished up with 2 outreach programs where we actually take NORAD Tracks Santa information, goodies, if you would, and give it to the children and their parents and remind them how they can track Santa on New Year's Eve. So the outreach programs I've been involved with, and as in the past, when it comes to the Santa cams and that sort of thing, you'll hear my voice on many of those.
That's great, and great to hear that everybody's back in person this year. So what does NORAD have planned for cams this year? Do you think there will be any new Santa cams that we can expect this year, or no?
As a matter of fact, yes, we've got a wide variety of new Santa cams coming, and it'll be, it's something to look forward to come Christmas Eve.
I'm sure our viewers will love to hear that and love to see those cams. I will as well. So could you provide us with any teasers that NORAD may have in store other than those this year, or no?
When it comes to the teasers, we are still putting together the final route that Santa is taking. He's been talking to us, and we've been working with our NORAD folks to make sure that everything flows smoothly. One of the concerns this year that was expressed by some folks was, well, what about Ukraine? Well, you know what? Santa Claus comes to all who believe, and we believe that Santa Claus, we know Santa will be taking care of the children in Ukraine as well as all the rest of the world. But he's got his hands full on a normal year, but he's also going to pay special attention to the children of Ukraine.
Well, that's great to hear. Now, I know you've been involved in NORAD for quite some time now. What is your favorite part, whether it's this year or all the years, of being a part of the NORAD Tracks Santa program?
Several things come to mind. One of them is when I had the opportunity to travel with the United States Air Force Academy Band. They put on a holiday show, and when I got to be the narrator for the band, I also had a dual role of being the spokesman for NORAD Tracks Santa. When I went on the road with the Air Force Academy Band, amazing musicians who are bringing holiday music to people in all different towns across Colorado. One year it was 10 days on the road, 9 shows, 5 different hotels, and that sort of thing. So it was a busy, busy time. But we made sure that everyone had the opportunity to listen to some great holiday music and to learn more about the NORAD Tracks Santa program. I was there before the show and after the show, handing out goodies that have the NORAD Tracks Santa logo and the information on it. So that's probably one of the funnest things. The other thing is, though, when a child's eyes light up, when you ask them about tracking Santa Claus, some of them they've never heard of NORAD Tracks Santa, and that's part of my job. So when a child goes, well, I don't know how that works, I said, well, do you know what makes Rudolph different than all the rest of the reindeer? And the reply obviously is a shiny red nose. And that's where I can tie in the fact that the NORAD constellation of satellites are zeroing in, their infrared sensors are zeroing in on Rudolph's nose. And that's where the dots are connected. The children know that we're watching from the satellites and we're watching Rudolph's nose. And that's really, when you see the child's eyes light up and go, wow, that's really cool. That's one of the things that is really heartwarming about this program.
Now, our last question here is just kind of a fun one. What are your plans for Christmas this year?
Well, my plans for Christmas this year, I will be at the forward operating location in the Caribbean with my wife. So we will be tracking Santa Claus from the forward operating location at an undisclosed location somewhere in the Caribbean Ocean. I plan to have my NORAD Tracks Santa t-shirt on because I don't like the cold.
Well, I hope that's fun. Now, all of us here at Team YANTSU wish you a very Merry Christmas and thank you for joining our show this year.
Well, Alex, thank you. And I want to say thank you to all the folks that are watching as well, and a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you as well.